I'm Layla.
I'm Sarah, and this is Not Your Usual Podcast.
Hi guys, I'm Layla.
I'm Sarah,
and this is Not Your Usual Podcast. Welcome back. If this is your first time, tune in. We filmed a couple episodes so far. If you go back and look, you can get to know us a little bit better and basically hear what this podcast is about. So,
exactly. If you go on YouTube, Spotify, you should be able to see some of our newer episodes. And today we're going to be talking about something that's really interesting for the both of us.
yes.
Because not only it's something that we've had to work through, it's something that we work through every day. And I don't think we'll ever stop, honestly, but it will definitely get to the point where we're like, okay, like we made it. And do you want to say it?
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about success. So, Sarah, what does success mean for you?
I honestly feel like it means like a lot of different things, but for me specifically, I feel like just being happy and content and satisfied when I wake up in the morning and knowing that I'm good physically, mentally, spiritually, and that like financially too. But I feel like financially it doesn't matter so much because it's more of like who you are as a person and not just like what you have in your bank account. Like if I was to lose all the money I've ever had, it's like who am I as a person, you know, and not just like the monetary funds that I did acquire. But yeah, success to me is being able to love your life honestly and wake up and feel like you're okay with existing. What about for you?
I agree with that. So for me, I can say success means being happy, being satisfied with what I'm doing at the moment in life. I think it means loving myself and loving the people around
True.
me. And I think it means doing what's best for myself despite like different adversities that may come.
Yeah.
And I think also just being in God's will too, that for me is success.
Yeah.
Like the vision that he put in my heart and following that vision and keeping up with it, I definitely feel that's like what success would mean to me. I do feel though that like going further on that, like success does mean different things for everybody.
For sure.
So that's something that I would like to highlight. Like success for my sister or like my brother might be different than my own success. And I feel like that's very important that we
Yeah.
should maybe go into
Yeah, for
because, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, because even like for like you said, your sister, like my sister and I were very similar. We were born from the same mom and dad, so
Yeah.
it's like okay, like we should have the same likes and dreams. But no, you'd be surprised. We are very different when it comes to just the things we want to have. So I feel like even your personal friends too, you know, it's
For
like
sure.
everyone is gonna have a different definition of it, and I think that finding out what it means for you and starting to practice those things and finding out a way to achieve it too, I think that's like really important because if you have a definition of success but you don't know how to achieve that, you're gonna just feel a little lost. Like me personally, like I felt really lost before because I would be like, this is what I want and like this is where I want to be, but it was like I had like this brick wall and it's like literally like a mountain. It's like for you to get there, you have to climb this mountain and you might die before you get there type of thing. And it's like, you know, like finding out how other people did it or how you can personally do it or just like little things that can get you closer to it every day. I think it's also really important. But before you have to figure out what it means to you though.
And I think that means like basically like defining goals for yourself too and highlighting what interests that you have in life. Like what do you like? What type of lifestyle do you see through different people or through different experiences that you've had in the past that you'd like to achieve in your future?
Yeah.
And how can you get there? I think that basically when I started figuring out what values that I wanted, what values that I wanted to instill in my future is how I basically was able to define those goals clearly. And now I feel like it's easier for me to develop a sense of what my success would look like, but at the same time, I don't want to like negate from being in the present now, because sometimes we can get so caught up with like trying to achieve success so bad that like it's almost like we're burning out because we're like, why am I not there? Why am I not
honestly.
there? But it's like
Yeah.
success takes time. Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen overnight, but you have to be disciplined and you have to be motivated to actually go for it. Like you can't just have a vision for your life and then just be like, oh, well, I have a vision. Like
Yeah.
you need to work towards that if you're going to be,
For sure. And that honestly brings me back to something that I said in a couple episodes earlier, that I feel like I can do anything. So sometimes like I'll try and take matters with my own hands instead of waiting on God's time. Because I do believe in God, and I do believe that he will do things in the right time. Like not everyone is like that, but if you have that type of faith, you can't just go and do things on your own. Like there was a point last year, actually, my junior year, you know this, but they don't, that I had 3 jobs and I was
Yes.
doing full-time school. I literally only had time to go home, change, eat, and shower. And if I like went on my phone on like Snapchat and like I would look to text someone back, it would literally make me so mad that I was using the time that I had to text that person back.
Wow.
If like it wasn't someone that important. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I feel like that's like when I realized that it's like, okay, like this lifestyle might get you a lot of money and you might feel like the richest you've ever felt because of this money that you're receiving. But are you going to feel successful though? Are you going to feel at peace? I feel like a big part of success is what gets you at peace and joy
That's so
and happiness.
true. I think I believe that for sure, but I never like heard it out loud.
Really?
Yeah, I never did. So
The joy and peace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's so like for me personally, like it's like even though like I could be working or getting things monetarily, if I'm not satisfied mentally and if I'm not
doesn't
okay,
matter.
it does
It
it
literally
really
does
does
not
not matter.
matter.
Like I would rather feel successful working towards my vision with $0 in my account. And I know that sounds like crazy, but I would
Yeah.
and be very happy mentally and physically well and not have any money than be working and slaving myself away, but
Yeah.
like I'm still not where I need to be, because sometimes like you see people with 9 to 5s or people that work more than that, like 60 hours a week, and then you'll see they're working, and then if you talk to them and you ask them what they want to do with their lives, they don't even say the job that they're working.
Or they don't know sometimes.
Or they don't know because they've never been apart from where they are now.
Yeah, or they never thought of themselves apart out of that position.
Exactly. Or they think that if they stay off the path of what success looks like normally. And I think that's like what we have to realize. Like you can't like compare your success
Yeah.
to other people. Like a person might be like, oh yeah, my dad worked in this industry, my mom did, so I have to do
Yeah.
it. And then they'll have a dream in the back of their head that they've never achieved.
Yeah.
And then they regret it like 20, 30 years later. Oh, I should have did this. No, if you want success and you want to be happy, go off the path of what is normally normal.
Yeah.
Like, do you agree with that?
For sure, especially in this generation and especially in America. Like this is coming from someone who's seen the difference in capitalism and the economy in
Yes.
different countries. And it's like people in Brazil are not that worried about making it. And that's why I'm here, honestly.
It's the
But
American dream
yeah, and like,
that's always talked about.
it's like they're just worried about making sure their family is okay, that they get a good amount of rest and like, enough time with their family, a good amount of sleep. Like I asked my sister what she thought the definition, like what her definition of success was, and she told me that for her it was just getting through the week healthy, like happy, alive, and being able to have a nice lunch with your family while talking with everyone there, talking, eating, and just enjoying each other's presence while being healthy. And honestly, that means a lot to me, because if you think about it, when you think of like your happy moment, you're not thinking about when you bought something. Maybe, yeah, if you worked really hard for that thing and it's like, oh, so glad I'm able to do this.
but what about after that?
Exactly. After that, it's just going to be a shiny object that's blinging in your room or outside your door or something. But at the end of the day, after a little bit of time, it's not going to shine as bright. And the only really important moments you have in your mind are the ones that are actually fulfilling. I think success is really about fulfillment. And things from the outside world can only fulfill you for a little bit of time. And that's why, honestly, I would love to relate this to the Bible, because it's like the Bible talks about how like you can get fulfilled with like God and peace and joy, and those are things that will last forever. But the things from this earth, the things that you see, what is the one verse? It goes like, focus on things that you can't see, because the things you can't see are like long lasting, but the things you see are temporary. So like basically like just because like you see like success around you, it doesn't mean that you are successful until you feel fulfilled, at peace, in joy.
And I really do think that that does come from the comfort of God, if you do believe in God. Because at the end of the day, like, me as a believer, I always feel secured that, okay, if something else happens, or if, like, my life isn't going the way that I thought, that at the end of the day, I do have God.
Yeah,
and I know that at
true.
the end of the day, he will put me on the path to success no matter what happens.
And that's what I was trying to say, that you could get everything taken away from you right now, but realistically, if you still have your life and your health, you have everything you need.
Everything.
And God. But like, if you have your life and your health, you have God.
Yes.
I mean, like, we'd hope.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Yes, I agree with that for sure. And I also want to say that I feel like in terms of success, what you recognize for your life in general, in terms of like, I would say your achievements and I would say your personal goals. What have you been putting off that you know in the back of your head you should be doing? I feel like a lot of times where I feel like I'm not as successful, or that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, like I feel like I'm lacking, like, oh, like I'm seeing this person and that person feeling fulfilled and doing what they need to do. Recognize what you want to do. Look up the steps that you need to take to get there, even if it's self-fulfillment in terms of just like making sure you're getting taken care of. Buy some hygiene products that you really like to make your skin look nice. Go out there and maybe get some things done that you haven't gotten done before, taking a package to the mail office, like little things too. Like, I'm not saying that success has to be on a large scale all the time. It can be on a minuscule scale, as in like getting daily tasks done.
Yeah.
Like, as humans, I feel like we can get so wrapped up in, like you said, the world and the monetary things and things that are blingy and flashy. But what about getting a haircut? What about things like that? To me, that's success too.
Yeah, or even like a meditation.
Yes.
I wanted to start getting, because you were saying something about start doing things you need, or maybe you need to stop doing things that you know you don't need. Think about the most successful version of you. Would they be doing the things that you are doing on a daily? When you wake up in the morning and it's 7 a.m., if you were living in your successful timeline, would you stay asleep, or would you wake up and do something with your day and life? I feel like when you think about success, you have to always think of yourself as the person who's already made it, and think, would they be doing this or not? If not, you shouldn't do it unless you want to stay in this position. Otherwise, it's like self-sabotage again. And honestly, for me, like, a big step to feeling like I'm being more successful is just waking up every day and doing the things that I actually love and need to do, and like the things that actually align with my day and my life. Like, let's say someone invited me to go somewhere and I feel like that's not a place for me anymore. I'm not gonna go. And like that might make me feel a little successful, because before I would have gone maybe knowing it wasn't a place for me. And like, or like sometimes it's like, you know you have like a homework to do, or just like a task, like you said, and you don't do it. Like, that's not gonna make you feel like you would feel if you would just get it done, you know?
Yes, like success is not always something of a product, something of physical value. Like, success is normally a feeling, I feel like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I like to feel successful, and feeling successful to me is, like you said, just getting things done. Like, I love feeling like that. I love feeling accomplished. So I feel like changing your daily habits, changing your routine to who you aspire to be, who at the end of the day do you see yourself being? Like, if you're younger, when you're a parent, do you see yourself doing the things that like you're doing now? And I know like you might be like, what do you mean? Like, I don't have a kid now or things like that. But I'm just saying, like, the things that you are doing now, the habits that you have now, you are going to take with you in the future. Like,
Yeah.
you are. So it's like, how about start practicing it now before the time comes? And then when the time comes where you're ready to step into that position of success, you're like,
You'll be that
I got
person
this.
already,
I
yeah.
got this. I've been doing this. Like, you know what I
And
mean?
honestly, I think that is exactly when the opportunities do
Will
come to
come
you, because
when you're ready.
you are stepping into that position. So it's like, okay, we need you, and it's not
Yes.
like you're just like, oh, like that's something that I would like to do, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't actually do any of those things. So how can I even believe you?
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like success also comes in how you deal with, like, you can have successful relationships and
That's true.
successful friendships.
That's true.
What else? Just like achievements as well, I
Okay,
guess. Like,
yeah.
let's say you write a book or something like that. Like, that's why I feel like it's so important to decide what does it mean for you. Like, does it mean achievements? And that's why for me it's a little hard, because I honestly feel like there's so many different meanings of success. Like, and personally, I just know that I want to succeed in every area of my life. Like, why would I not? At the end of the day, if you have the capability of doing well and performing well and getting to understand things better, having a better knowledge about things so you can do better, why wouldn't you?
Why would you
know?
not?
And honestly, like, I'll share this with you guys. It's kind of embarrassing, but it's not, honestly. You should take notes, because everything that I would like try to learn when I was younger, or like everything I would struggle with, Google, YouTube. There's
Yes.
absolutely no reason why you are Googling things that don't value your life or benefit you in any shape or form, but you can't Google how to find fulfillment. That's so easy to do. Like, literally, WikiHow, that place helped me a lot. You can literally look anything up there. You can literally look up how to pluck your eyebrows, and they'll
Literally.
teach you. So it's like, if you genuinely have a goal, if you genuinely want to be successful, write it down, take the steps. Like, what I had to do personally was really write down what I wanted my future to look like and my present to look like. Also, like, even when it comes to manifesting, like, a lot of people don't like talking about that, but like, you know, I don't have to get into all that either, because it's like really big. But I've manifested like a calmer mind, and to me that's success, because before I used to have so many intrusive thoughts. I used to just be so anxious all the time. If I had to confront someone or talk about something, I would cry. Like, I just knew I was gonna cry. It's like, okay, like, you have to talk to that person, but we both know you're going to be crying.
I agree with that.
See, and like, now I have the peace of mind to be able to have a conversation, and even to be doing this. It's like, I'm able to come here and talk for whoever is listening in front of however many people, because like, I'm secure in that. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. And in terms of like successful friendships and relationships, I kind of want to go back to what you said on that, because do you agree that a successful friend or a relationship is in support of your ambitions and your success? Like, for example, like if I say I want to start a cupcake business, having friends that like would support my business, that would shout it out on social media,
Yeah.
that would, I don't know, like ask me if I need help starting it up, if they could basically do anything to help me with that level of success that I'm trying to achieve, that I feel like is very important to me. Like, have friends that support your goals, have friends that support your dreams, like, and don't listen to people that maybe don't understand.
True.
I feel like that's such a big thing. Like, not everybody is going to understand the dream or vision that you have for your life. Yes, you can still keep those people in your life, but don't let them heavily influence you to now you're overthinking what vision like that has been set into your heart and what foundation that you're trying to create. I feel like that's very big for me.
The not understanding thing is huge too, because sometimes you might be telling a small-minded person a big dream that you have, but their mind doesn't even have the capacity to grasp onto what you're talking about. Like, to me, that kind of brings me to like my grandma, let's say. Like, if I was to tell her like the things that I envision for myself and the things that I want to do, she's not really able to understand, because she doesn't think anything like me. She hasn't seen anything that I've seen, even though you're probably like, she's your grandma, she's seen more. And like, I'm sure she has seen a lot, but like, in this new age and in this new world, like, she doesn't understand that things are not how it used to be. And honestly, sometimes like, you can avoid telling people that, or you can be bold and just be like, I'm doing it. If you're confident enough in yourself to know that their opinions and their perception isn't gonna mess up your like work ethic or your faith in yourself, yes, cool, tell them. But if not, don't tell them.
Don't tell
Just let them
them.
see it. Start working and let them see your work and you being an example. And then once you get it done, it's gonna be like, how did you do that? And then maybe you can tell them. But even then, you're talking about the cupcake business. I think that's really cool if like you have people that are gonna support your business and want to help. But I think it's mostly important to have people that are supporting you in general. Like if you are like not just in general, there's two, like in general, but also like supporting the way you want to succeed in general. Like, okay, like I'm here, like Layla, I love you, you're my friend, I'm here for you. That's just general support, right?
Okay.
But if I know that you're trying to get to a certain point in your life, you're trying to save more money, you're trying to go to the gym more, I should not be putting you off that path.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
I see. So like having friends that hold you accountable is
Yeah,
support.
but not just holding accountable, because I'm not gonna call you every day and be like, "Hey, did you go to the gym today?"
Well, not
You know?
in that way, but I know what you mean.
it's
Like,
if you tell me you're going to the gym, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, why? Just let's come to the
Yes,
beach
yes,
instead." You know, it's
yes.
like you have to understand the impact that you have in your friend's life. And sometimes you have negative influences in your life, but sometimes you are the negative influence and you need to be helping them instead of making them feel worse, especially because some people don't understand how they actually impact their friends. Like you should be noticing how you do that and want to do it in a positive way and
for
not
sure.
negative.
For sure. I completely agree with that. I think that having friends around me, especially for me who's heavily impacted by my friendships because I really care about my friends. So if I have a friend that's basically telling me like things like, oh, you should do this instead of that, I am going to take it to heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to take it personally, even if that thing is positive or negative. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like in this day and age, too, social media has a very big role in influence and impact as well. Like, positively and negatively, but I feel like for me personally, I spend a lot of time on social media, not too much, but I am on my phone. And I feel like in our generation in Gen Z, I feel like it's very easy to compare yourself, compare your success, and compare like your lifestyle to people on the internet.
Yeah.
And I know that like in some ways, like we can talk about both ways, but I know negatively, like I sometimes, not now, but I used to feel like inadequate. I used to be like, oh, like this person in my age who's, or younger than me, like I'll see like an 18-year-old driving like a Rolls Royce. I'll see him in his mansion, like with all this money and all this stuff. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? But it's like, no, like you cannot think like that. It's like, that was their time to have this stuff. And I know that's like
Their
a very
journey.
crazy way of seeing things, but if you want to advance to that next level, you need to think of
Yeah.
things like that. Like that was his time to develop his success, and I'll have my time, and
Yeah.
that's how you have to think. And it's like he or she did the things that he or she needed to do to get to that point. So now if I want that, I have to do the things that I need to do that are according to my vision to get to that point too.
Or even better sometimes
even
too.
better.
Because I think this comes with the abundance mindset.
Yes.
And once I started thinking like that, everything changed. And
That I
sometimes,
feel like has so much to do with success,
exactly.
abundance. Yeah.
Because sometimes like it's low-key hard to explain to people who haven't reached that level, because they might look at me and be like, well, if you have abundance mindset, why don't you have a Birkin bag yet? And it's like not about that. It's just about the fact of knowing that like there is more than enough for everyone in the universe. If that 18-year-old boy could get a Rolls Royce, why couldn't you specifically? Like, what is wrong with you that you couldn't get it? Or why couldn't you get something else or better? But I feel like once you truly understand having a faith or not, I mean, like, I honestly can't talk about not having a faith because I don't know what I would do
Yes.
not having one. So if you don't have one and you're listening to this, I hope that you can maybe consider thinking about starting having one. But having it, once you have a faith, whether that's in God or the universe or in the trees, because, you know, the trees are alive too, and we are coexisting with them by giving them a type of oxygen that I can't really remember it right now, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You
Yeah, I
should.
think it's like CO2.
Yeah, and they give
something.
us oxygen
Yeah.
too. So it's like we are coexisting with so many other things, and the fact that there's like, oh, how do I explain this? I could really get into this. Like strawberries, they come from the earth. Like things are existing for us to exist. So to me, it's like once you actually understand that things are working out for you and that you've gotten this far and that you can continue to keep going, it's like, wow, there is abundance everywhere. And I don't have to compete with anyone or make myself less or even compare myself to anyone.
Yes.
Because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I will get to
I
those
will
things
get
in due
there.
time, you know?
I totally agree with that because just think, guys, there's what, 7 billion people in the world?
Yeah, I think there's 8 now.
8, really? Okay.
8.
Like, exactly. So you're telling me, like, okay, so I want to talk about something that I, like, recently experienced. It was one of my sister's birthdays the other day, and I was talking to my stepmom, actually, because there was a basketball game on TV, and we were talking about the Super Bowl, and I was like, these players on this field, or on this, court, are making millions of dollars. Like, these sports contracts are like over 100 million per year, in addition to all the other things, in addition to all the PR and all the other things that they're doing outside of playing. Like, they're making so much money. So imagine I don't know how many players are on the team, but imagine that they're each making at least 80 mil. It's like, do you see how crazy that is? If each of these people are making that much money, like, do you see the amount of money in the world?
True.
Like, you have to
It's
think,
all there already.
it's
You just
all
have to get
there.
it.
And not just money, that's just one example. Like, resources in general, guys. That is why you
Houses.
have to have the abundance mindset. There is more than enough in the world for you. Like, there is so much. So that's why you have to think big. Like, you are just one person out of the 8 billion. If each of those people
That
is
overwhelms
getting
me.
those things, why can you not get them? Seriously.
Yeah. It's honestly
Seriously.
crazy to me. I've been saying this for a few days now, that in this exact time, in this exact moment, right now, that we are here and that you're watching this, there is someone else doing something completely different. There's someone birthing a baby. Someone probably just died. You know, like RP, but like,
Yes,
you know
so
what I
that's
mean?
so
There's
true.
so many possibilities, and there's just so much going on for you to put yourself in the back and be like, well, you get to have the crumbs and just
I
you
don't
know,
deserve
it's like, why
that.
would you do that to yourself, you know? And I think that's what comes with finding out what success means, because just having some money is not going to make you feel successful, or having something, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes. Just like limiting yourself.
Yeah.
It's not like, think big. Like, say you're thinking of starting like a small business. Why don't you think about having a big business?
Right. But also, I do understand that for some people, you have to start small to get big.
Yes.
And then just start small. Like, don't just have the idea and not start it.
Yes.
Like, us with this, like, we had to start at one point. We talked about it every day after we made the decision. And we were like, and this is why we need that podcast. Because we would be on the phone
Yes.
and say something really good. And we're like, wow, someone could be listening to this.
Yes, we
and it's
were.
like, if we didn't take the initiative to make the podcast, we would have never been here right now. But also, I definitely would say that social media has really impacted me in a positive way, because, well, after like I got through like the comparison stuff,
Yes.
and like finding out that like I can't do it and that it has nothing to do with circumstances and more about like your will of power and your like your self-image. Like, if you think you can do it, then you can. Like, honestly, I feel like this time is a crazy time because there's so many people posting content, and it does not matter because there's so many people in the world. We all have a phone. Some people have multiple phones, multiple accounts. It's insane. It's overwhelming, and that's why I don't follow just everyone on Instagram or anything like that. And some people might think that it's out of like cockiness or something, but it's like, no, like, I am overwhelmed. Like, I don't want to see 2,000 people on my timeline when I'm just having a downtime to scroll. Like, I want to see the people that care about me and I care about them, and the people that bring something of value to my life, which is something that I have to get into, because there's definitely like a couple of women on the internet that have shown to me that like, wow, I started this at this age. I've been working for this amount of time, and now I'm able to wake up every day and create the life that I desire and go whatever I want and do whatever I want. And I know they're doing that because they're showing their steps and they're showing their mindset. And honestly, to me, that just shows that if you have someone that you look up to, keep looking up to them. Don't ever put them above you, because we're all equal. You know, we all bleed and die the same and are born kind of the same. But realistically, if that person got somewhere that you want to be at too, you could probably take some of the things they're doing and do it too, so you could get to where they're at, or even better.
Yes, I feel like that definitely is an example of the positive effects that social media can have. I feel like I have a couple content creators or people in my life that, like, I could say definitely have helped me. I hope we're some of those people for you guys too.
Honestly,
like,
yeah.
honestly. I also feel like, in terms of what you were saying about the scrolling, filtering what you're consuming. That
For
could
sure.
be in literally anything that can lead you to success. Like, maybe instead of like, so I can talk about listening. So like I would say we're pretty diverse in our music taste. Like, we listen to a lot of different music, but maybe instead of listening to some Young Boy or some Chief Keef at the time, which love Chief Keef, one of my favorites.
I do not expect you to say
No,
this,
but seriously, because I love him. But like,
Me too. Chief
but-
Keef, if you're
Yes,
watching this.
exactly. But maybe instead of that, why don't you listen to a podcast about
Our podcast.
yes, like us, or like even some other ones out there. Like,
I like Jay Shetty On Purpose.
yes, exactly. About like your mindset, changing your habits. Why don't you do that? Or
Yeah.
like, even on social media, like, follow people who basically are improving themselves. Follow people who, like you said, have a mentality or at a place where you would like to be too.
Yeah.
Like,
I honestly feel like it just, to me, like, I remember, like, I'm following multiple accounts and like following accounts that do help me, but I feel like it just gets to the point that you wake up and you're like, what am I doing?
Yes.
What is going on? Like, what is this? And it's like, you just can't do the same things you were doing anymore. And it comes even down to like the things you're seeing on your phone. It's like, if you are seeing something you're not aligned with, unfollow them. Like, I'm not saying like just cut everybody off, or like you saw something you don't kind of like. It's like, people are entitled to post whatever they want. That's for sure. But if you are constantly seeing something that does not make you happy, it makes you feel out of alignment, and you just know you shouldn't be seeing that, why are you? Like, this
yes,
is your phone.
Exactly. And what I think is interesting too about that is yesterday, actually, so your phone will give you like little analytics of how much you use it. And they'll usually do that on Sundays, like
Yeah.
the screen time thing. I saw that I pick up my phone on an average of 219 times a day.
Oh,
That's a lot.
I didn't even look at that
That's
one.
a lot.
Did you check your daily hour time?
I think mine last week was like 7.
Mine was 8.
Mine used to be 12.
That-
but that
Ooh.
was when I was working at the office job, so I had to
okay.
answer the calls on my phone.
Okay.
So like,
But that
yes.
is concerning.
But see,
like, and that's gonna be something that I want to take into account for myself. Successful me would have a 4-hour max.
exactly.
Phone time.
Exactly.
4-hour max.
And just think about when I was working there. Yes, I was monetary wise, I was getting more money, but
Yeah.
I was mentally depleted. Success wise, I was always on my phone.
Like, what are you doing for your brain
Exactly.
and your eyes?
So in my head, even though people would be like, wow, like, good for you. Like, you're at this, like, engineering, like, office place. And I'd be like, yeah. Because in
Yeah,
my head, that
you're
wasn't
not doing
success for
anything.
me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it
Yeah.
wasn't. Because I knew that wasn't the vision for my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really goes along with changing your environment. Like, getting out of an environment that you don't align with and getting out of a place where you feel like it's not for you anymore. Whether that's your home environment, whether that's your
for sure.
friends, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job. I'm telling you guys, that
Leave.
feeling of success, even if it's gonna cause you to be a little down in your pockets for a little while, like, I'm telling you, you'll come up. Like, you'll
Yeah.
get better just by feeling like you're not a slave to anything, or feeling like you're just
Or anyone.
unaligned to something. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think?
And then the phone thing too, I just wanted to quickly mention
Oh,
the
yeah, go
fact that being on your phone will also put you back a lot. But for me, like, this is just so hard for me to say, because like my phone, I have to get things done on my phone a lot. including just communicating with people. I live alone. I don't live next to my sister, my dad, my mom, my grandma, my aunts, my cousins. So every day I have to communicate with these people. And and it's like every day too. Like I'm not going a day without texting my sister or you or my mom and dad. So it's like those are the things I have to go on my phone for. And then let's say like things that I actually care about, like social media marketing and businesses and stuff like that. Like I don't have anyone that's posting for me on my personal social media. So I have to go in there and do those things. But I do make it very intentional. Like maybe I'll have a podcast playing or like a meditation sound while I'm doing those things because I know that like that is the time that I could be using for something else. But since I know that it's not just like mindless scrolling, like it's like, okay, this is doing something for me. And I also have a few books on my phone, but I don't like reading on my phone unless I'm literally like don't have a choice, and it's like, oh, I guess I'll have a book on my phone. You need to look up
like how to do something. Or
yeah,
something
no,
like
but also like let's say like you're at a job that you don't have much to do, so you can like read there.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't prefer to do that. I feel like it's too much on my eyes.
But see, that's what I'm trying to say. If you have the choice and the option to not be on your phone, don't. And even for me, like this is kind of hard to say because ever since I've started like praying more, I always go on the Bible app.
Yes,
this is like a great sponsoring thing. And then they have like the Pray With Us, and it's like a 4 to 6 minute, and then you just quickly pray with the Bible app. And I do that every day, but I also have 2 Bibles, a Portuguese Bible and an English Bible. So it's like, you don't need to do that on the phone. Like I'm not saying I'm going to stop doing the Bible one. I'm just saying that if you can do things in the real life and physical, don't stick to the material and the piece of glass that could shatter anytime and now it's gone, like you have to have something that's reliable. And like, yes, our phones are reliable. We have iCloud and all that, but I'm saying like something of structure that you can like feel and not have to externally rely on.
And I feel like that goes along with like your goals and stuff too. Like that's why we're telling you, when you're trying to manifest something or you're trying to get something to come into fruition that you want success in, physically write it, physically pour into it so you could see it grow.
Even clean the space out.
Yes, even if it's like, okay, like, or like say you're doing like the 75 hard challenge. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, like I remember a girl at my job was doing it. Yeah, and every day on her calendar, on her desk at work, she would put like a Post-it note and cover the date and be like day 1, day 2, day 3. Like she's physically seeing it. And I feel like with success, seeing something physically keeps you more motivated and more disciplined to keep going at that thing.
For sure. And see, like you being able to see that girl that you probably didn't even really know, now you're able to talk about it here. Like the way you act influences other people, whether you want to or not, whether you believe it or not. So don't do the right thing just for you. If you are doing the right thing and the good thing, the successful thing for you, you're helping everybody else too.
Yes, you are.
And I wanted to say something about the environment.
Oh, yeah.
If you feel like your environment isn't allowing you to grow, you need to leave. You need to create a new environment. Sometimes you have a guinea pig in a little hamster wheel. Like he's going to either break the wheel or he's going to be depressed and die. But you need to break the cage and come out of it and go thrive somewhere else, because there is other places. There's a big forest, a big ocean, whatever animal you want to be or think about, waiting for you. But if you stay stuck in the cage, it's basically like a zoo and animal. Like you're getting food and you're getting some type of like something that's keeping you alive. But are you thriving though? Like I love lions, and I'd probably be a lion or a tiger if I could pick an animal. But if I was a lion in the zoo, you best believe I would break that entire zoo.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of locks they put in. I would break the whole zoo and I would leave. See, exactly. And like, they're probably like, wow, like you don't care about the other animals. I would free them too.
Yeah, like I'd free the whole clan. Exactly. Like, yes, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. How about you? Anything you wanted to say?
I guess just don't be scared of success either, and don't feel like you can't be in that position just because you've never been in there before. True. Or because anyone in your family haven't, or because you won't be able to maintain it, or because you won't be able to just be in that position in general. Because if God has a dream for you, and if you have a dream in your heart that you want to fulfill and achieve, then why wouldn't it be possible?
Yes.
There's only everything is possible if you believe it hard enough. So if there's something that you want to do, and if there's a vision of success that you want to achieve, believe in it, work for it, and know that you can be there in the right time. And pray for sure.
Pray
first
is so
all the
big
time.
with success. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you guys, like, how, like for example, this right here where we're sitting is a testimony of an answered prayer.
True.
Me getting out of my job is a testimony of an answered prayer. Like there's so many things, guys, where you need to look back at your life and realize, like, wow, like, I'm sitting in something that I always wished I was doing. Like, and it's like we have so many thoughts in our head, and
whether
life
that's in your own bed with someone you love, or just doing something you like.
Like, stay present. Like, we think about so much things, and like, we're always thinking about, okay, what are we doing tomorrow? What's this? What's that? Like, stay here, look around you, look at your life, and have
Take a breather.
gratitude. Like, seriously, look at how much you've accomplished already. Find success in the things that you've accomplished now. Even if that is something small, don't limit your success.
Yes, I watched the sunrise this morning, and if you gave me $2,000, I wouldn't have took it to trade for what I experienced in the moment. You can get more fulfillment from an experience, even with nature sometimes, or with people. Especially with nature and people, than just monetary things, you know? Just make sure you know what's really important for you and to you. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
All right.